Joker hits theaters this weekend, and it's already controversial. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
All right, so I'm going to keep this one quick because I got to skedaddle out of here. But let me give you a quick reminder that you can listen to the podcast in the iHeartRadio app. Just type in the show presents Super Dario World, or you can find it on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube as Super Dario World Podcast. Now, quick update on the Spanish version of this podcast. It will happen this week. I think I finally fixed my computer issues. That's one of the reasons why I'm going to leave here early. And I'm going to test it out today. So we'll see if it works. But I'm going to test out the whole editing thing out. Because I'm not going to edit this one here. I'm going to edit it at home. And we'll see if it works. You will see a video version of this on YouTube later today. If it doesn't work, well, then I'll have to load it tomorrow. And so if it works, then that means green light. I can start editing stuff at home, and then I will be able to do the podcast from home and save myself a whole bunch of time, at least the editing stuff, because I don't want to just, I've said this many times, I don't want to just sit here and wait for an hour for this thing to fucking export. So that's that. Right now, I'm just recording. I'll record here, I'll edit there, make my life way easier, and I won't be just wasting time. I can take a nap at home. I can do other stuff. Shower. Anyway, I don't know if you guys care about that, but that's an update there. So, the movie Joker will be coming out this weekend. It stars Joaquin Phoenix, stars Robert De Niro. It's directed by Todd Phillips. Overall, the movie looks great. Looks fantastic. I'm very excited for it. When I first heard that Warner Brothers wanted to make a solo Joker movie, I was like, oh no. Why? Especially because I thought they wanted to continue with the terrible Jared Leto Joker, which is the worst Joker by far. It's not even close. So I was very worried about that. Afterwards, when they announced that it was Todd Phillips was going to be directing and it was going to be his own thing, I was like, all right, okay, we'll see. Todd Phillips is a good director. He directed the Hangover movies, which I love the first Hangover. The other ones, not as good, but the first one is really great. And he also, and then he announced that the lead for the movie was going to be Joaquin Phoenix, who is one of the best working actors today. Joaquin Phoenix is I don't think he's underrated, but he's a great actor. I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine. We were talking about Gladiator, and we were talking about whether or not Russell Crowe deserved the Oscar that year. And I think he was up against, who was it, Tom Hanks and Mel Gibson. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I know Tom Hanks for sure. It would Castaway. His performance was amazing. Now, our argument there for Russell Crowe is, but Russell Crowe won the Oscar for Gladiator, and it's his character was amazing. The character of Maximus is amazing. Is one of the best written characters. He's super cool, super awesome, super relatable, tragic, awesome character. His performance, however, was not extraordinary. So you got an extraordinary character and a serviceable performance, and that's why it seemed great. On the other hand, the character of Joaquin Phoenix, Commodus, his performance was outstanding. He knocked it out of the park. He was super hateable for many, many reasons, and still you pitied him in a very interesting way. So it was kind of a good character, but with an extraordinary performance. So we actually thought he did a better job. And I don't know how I got into this, but the point is, Joaquin Phoenix, great actor. Remember the movie Her. It's basically him talking to his phone. He's a great actor. So as soon as I heard that he was going to be the new Joker, I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll see what's up. Especially because I was very impressed with what Heath Ledger did the first time. Oh, that's another issue. Jack Nicholson set the bar pretty high for the Joker. Heath Ledger destroyed that bar. He completely destroyed it. It's one of the best performances of all time. And now it's like, well, what can you do? We saw what Jared Leto did, and it was garbage. So what can Joaquin bring to the table that's going to be different? It's going to be special. I was excited because I believe he had the talent for it, and Todd Phillips, like I said, good director. Then I saw the first trailer for the movie. Well, you start seeing like pictures, and you're like, oh, that looks a little weird, but okay, kind of creepy. I think I can get the vibe. Then you see the first trailer, and I was knocked away. My socks were blown off. It looks extremely, extremely good. I was very excited for the first time. And now, as the movie draws close, it's been released in festivals and stuff like that. People are loving it. And as it's about to be released, there's a whole bunch of controversy surrounding it. And the thing that bugs me is that the controversy really has nothing to do with the movie. It has to do with the state of things right now, the state of the country and all that stuff. People being a bunch of little bitches. Really annoys me. So, the thing that they're saying right now is that there's a credible threat from the army, said there was a credible threat, that there was going to be maybe attacks. I need to take a few steps back. If you guys remember, back when The Dark Knight Rises was released, there was a shooting in a movie theater. And so that's kind of pretty much what people are worried about now, that somebody's going to try to copycat that. And so it's a credible threat, all stuff like that, which is a concern, I guess, now in America. But to me, it's, why are you doing this? It's something that we already knew. But okay, I understand why they're doing it. I understand why people would think that. I understand why you relate one thing to the other. But you're screwing up the movies. Well, first off, the box office result, the opening weekend is not going to be as great because now people are going to get freaked out because the army said it's a credible threat. How credible the threat is, I don't know. To me, I've always been of the mindset that if you tell somebody that you're going to do something, you're likely not going to do it. You're probably just trolling. Some people do it, some people don't. I guess I'm not in that business. But you're going to totally fuck up the opening weekend box office by a lot. I already heard a lot of people that are like, yeah, you know what? I'm probably just going to wait. Just in case, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to be there the opening weekend, so it's going to fuck up the numbers, which it has consequences there. And it's also caused a lot of controversy because it's saying, no, the movie is extremely violent and it glorifies violence and it glorifies an incel culture. For those of you who don't know what an incel is, it's involuntary celibates, basically dudes who can't get laid. And so the movie is about, Todd Phillips described it as how society can break a man, right? And how one could become a monster, pretty much, or a terrorist in its own way. So I've read a lot about the movie, and Todd Phillips wasn't really interested in making a comic book movie. He was interested in the Joker's an insane character. He's wild, he's savage, and but also in many ways a genius. So Todd Phillips was like, all right, how could I... He was more interested in that aspect, like what creates this type of monster? What could break a man in such a way? And how could he still be charming in spite of it? So he wasn't really interested in making a comic book movie. He wasn't interested in bringing Batman into it. He wanted to make that particular story. And the way that he got the budget for it and everything was just putting the Joker on it. Like, that was his trick. And also, you add a few more elements from the Batman universe. So it's like in Gotham City, stuff like that. So I think, honestly, I thought that was very clever. And the premise is pretty interesting. How the world can break a man. And I read another interview, and I'm just going to read the quote straight out, because he says that this movie was, well, the idea for this movie came a lot from the woke culture that we see right now. Yep, I've talked about this before. Comedy's under attack by this woke culture. Everybody's like, oh, you can't talk about this, you can't say that anymore, and they're trying to censor you. And to me, it's always been like, comedy should be a free-for-all. I'm in the Michael Scott school of thought. Like, I don't have to apologize for a joke. It's a joke. And also the I think it was Dave Chappelle school of thought is like, until how far am I responsible for your feelings, right? I should not be responsible for your feelings. You decide what offends you. You're a grown up. That's an expression that actually made a lot of differences in my life. Just, I've been telling myself, he's a grown up. They'll get over it. They should get over it. And just over and over, whenever I'm overthinking something that what if it's going to do this to that? You know what? They're a grown up. They should deal with their own feelings. They should, unless it's a kid. Then if it's a kid, it's different. But if I'm dealing with a grown up, it's like, he's a grown up, should be able to handle his own feelings. Anyway, here's the quote from Todd Phillips. Go try to be funny nowadays with this woke culture. There are articles written about why comedies don't work anymore. I'll tell you why. Because of all the effing funny guys like, F this shit. I don't know why they censor one part and not the other, but okay. Because I don't want to offend you. It's hard to argue with 30 million people on Twitter. You just can't do it, right? So you just go, I'm out. And you know what? With all the comedies, I think that comedies in general all have in common is they're irreverent. So I go, how do I do something irreverent, but F comedy. Oh, I know. Let's make a comic book movie universe, and let's take the comic book movie universe and turn it on its head with this. So, he said a lot there, and I'm just gonna kind of dumb it down the way that I understand it. So, basically, what he said is he's a comedy director. He made like really like the Hangover was really hardcore. It's a hard R. So he's a comedy director, and right now it's a minefield. Comedies are a minefield for some reason, and it's stupid. It's stupid because critics are like, no, this is really bad, but audiences love it. Audiences love raunchy stuff. Audiences love naughty stuff, right? But it's hard to get funding for one thing or the other. So it's like, all right, okay, well, how can I do that? How can I make a comedy that I want? Because the point of a comedy is they're irreverent. Basically, that means that you make fun of people who thinks they are above making fun of. That's pretty much it. That's what he thinks a comedy should be. You make fun of that. If they tell you can't make fun of this, you find a way to make fun of that. That's his way of thinking. I mostly agree. So, I can't make a comedy right now. So, how can I make fun of something that's irreverent? Well, the comic book world of the movie universe is pretty popular right now. They get all the money, they get all the everything. So, if I can make a movie about a superhero or in the superhero world that's actually not a superhero movie that allows me to criticize all the dumb shit that really annoys me, I can actually, this might actually be something that I consider worth working on. And that's it. So that's pretty much what he said. I paraphrased a lot, but I think that's his point. You tell me I can't do this, fine, I'll find another way of doing exactly what I want, and I'll make fun of you in the process. So, in a way, Todd Phillips made this movie specifically to piss people off and cause a controversy, and now these people are pissed off and making a controversy out of a movie that hasn't even come out yet, and a lot of the critics of the movie haven't even seen it. There's a lot of concern of this movie, like, oh no, it celebrates this, celebrates that, blah, blah. Have you seen the movie? No. What? What are you complaining about? Watch the movie first. And also, you can't blame a movie for the issues in the real life, right? You can't. You're supposed to judge a movie solely on what's on screen. I hate that. I hate when people give extra bonus points, brownie points to a movie just because it relates to something, in society. I hate it. That's why there's a lot of movies that don't age very well because they're a product of their time. They're not timeless. They're just, oh, okay, well, it makes sense here and it was important here, but if you take it out of this context, it won't make any sense. That's not a good fucking movie. That's a bad movie, okay? Well, I guess it was good in its time, but it's not going to be timeless. It's not a product that's going to last. It's not going to be good. You gotta be good, okay? So, the movie by itself has to be good, and that involves the quality of the work that you put in. How much are you willing to compromise? And it sounds like, to me, Todd Phillips was not willing to compromise. And what I've read from Joaquin Phoenix, what I've read from Robert De Niro, everybody's saying the same thing. These people are ridiculous. They haven't even watched the movie. Watch the movie and judge me. Watch the product and judge me. You can't live in fear. All right? You can't live, oh my God, I'm afraid that something anything might happen. Anytime. A meteorite might hit me right now. It's like, you can't control things. So you can't be afraid, and you can't be just, paranoid and run away from a movie that hasn't even come out yet. Right? You can't be worried about the moral fiber and the message it's sending to the kids if you haven't even seen the movie yet. I'm really excited for it. Honestly, I think it might be the best superhero movie of the year because it's not a superhero movie. And usually to me, those are... I need to stop. I need to hold myself there because I always get a little bit too overexcited. And the last time I got excited about this type of movie, like a darker superhero movie, or rated R superhero movie, I was massively disappointed. But let's just say I am messing up with that. That's the one I was looking for. So let's just say I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm glad that Todd Phillips took this approach. I'm glad that he's not listening to the controversy. I'm glad that, overall people are getting tired of this. We are. It's so annoying. Let's just enjoy things. Why are you're trying to tear something down and it's not even out yet. It's not. Wait. If it's a bad movie, then judge it by that. Anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Any comments, questions, suggestions, you can always find me at Dario the Show on Instagram. When you watch the movie, let me know. I'll probably do a review next week because I do want to see it this weekend. I'm going to be working a lot, but I'll try. So hopefully I'll have a review for you next week. And as always, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.